here because people need to see a clash like this. Not a.
And you can see he called it a clash, and now he's walking it back. So I just want you guys to understand these guys know each other. They've taken shots at each other online. It's a thing.
I agree. There's something bad. Just people who got something to say, like what you say and what I say. I think it's gonna be interesting.
I do too. Yeah. I think it's gonna be really interesting.
What do you feel about this nation as they jack other nations for their resources and play it off like it's other reasons? I'm talking about this nation, the U.S.
That's a part of the game.
When you say a part of the game, I don't understand.
Everybody didn't been conquered. Slavery didn't exist way before we ever came in here. Mm-hmm. So I don't see what the problem is.
Well, I tell you like this. I cannot respect men who are claim jackers. Like I don't
like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so you guys kind of see. He starts it off with this whole Trump Maduro thing. You know, we went in and we took Maduro and we're taking the oil and everything like that. And his whole thing is it's not fair. We shouldn't do that. And Anton's thing is we're stronger than those guys. We're in the oil business, just like Trump said. This is how things work. It's just how things work. Now, if you are into politics at all, you know there's a deeper play here. Venezuela is a BRICS nation. Every BRICS nation is potentially a launch point for China to get a foothold, and that's just not what we're going to do. We're not going to do that. So this is basic politics, and Corey here, as far as I'm concerned, has no real concept of how politics works at a larger scale, and he's going to show that through what he's saying.
Like the United States.
No, give me an example, like a real life thing. Like, what did they take?
The United States.
Like taking this country?
Not just taking this country. How do you think you got here?
The transatlantic slave trade.
You're a smart man.
Right. I know all about it.
So it's very hard to be respectful of what is here when me, for example, as an African-American male, I know how I got here. I didn't take the cheap flight on Frontier here. My people were kidnapped. My people were robbed. They what?
They were sold by Africans.
Okay, so now you guys now you should understand where these two are. Anton here, the guy who's fixing his sleeve, the guy on screen, he's telling you, Africans were the first enslavers and traders and sellers of Africans. Corey Holcomb over here, he is very much indoctrinated by the left to think white man bad in all things. So you guys you now understand exactly where these two stand. And he's right. Africans sold Africans before anyone else.
You say all the people were sold by Africans?
How you think what you think white people came over there and got us?
Yes.
No, they were sold.
So
they just capitalized off of it better than the Africans did.
Okay, so you're saying that all of the black people that were brought here were sold by Africans.
Correct.
So the white people they were just doing transactions over there.
Absolutely. It was capitalism.
In case you are white and you're watching this, in the black community, it is taught that at a very minimum, white people came over with guns and that they forced Africans to capture other Africans and then sell them, which makes no sense because if I have the guns, I just take your people, right? So what they dress it up as is it was at best case scenario, it was economic warfare. The white people came over with gunpowder and they said, you can capture slaves for us and we'll let you live, or you can resist us and we'll take you as slaves and then we'll just get the next tribe to do it. So that's how they kind of break it down, economic warfare type of deal, but that's not the case. Africans enslaved Africans for many hundreds of years, and they sold them to Arabs and Jews and everyone else. So this is what Anton is pointing out.
See, the thing about white people, you think that racism is inherently in them. Racism is inherently in all of us. Black people is some of the most racist people I've ever seen in my entire life. We don't even like each other.
So can I ask you a question?
No, let's stay there.
Okay.
We don't even like each other. And so black people participate. Some of the first slavers in the United States of America was black people. That's the truth. So what I'm trying to understand is...
Was slavery in the United States before?
Slavery existed thousands of years before we got here.
Okay.
Slavery was on every single continent in this world. That's a...
In case you guys didn't know, Korea, the continent or the peninsula of Korea, they had the longest unbroken chain of slavery. Right? It was like 1,500 years. There is not a single culture that has ever existed that did not have slavery in some very meaningful form or fashion. Not a single one in all of the history of mankind. So just, laying that out there for context.
Effect. Now, the thing that's a problem with it is that, then this is the problem that I have. What you niggas want?
What do you mean when you say what you mean?
What do y'all want?
What
Like,
do you want?
because y'all complaining about it over and over again, and I'm trying to understand what is it that y'all looking for. What is going to help y'all?
A whole thing that has happened.
Because I'm solutions oriented, and I'm tired of niggas that ain't never been through shit complaining about shit that they ain't never been through.
If you black in the United States, you've been through some shit.
But I'm tired of niggas complaining about shit that they have never been through. You've been through some shit, but you ain't been through that.
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Because most of the niggas that's complaining about it ain't never even really seen real racism. These is new niggas. All of these internet niggas right here, these is new niggas.
So are you saying black people in the United States, some of them have skipped over racism?
Yes, definitively.
Come on, man.
Definitively. You have a greater chance of being killed by somebody that look like you than to ever interact with somebody that don't look like you and kill you.
Okay, now this is a statistical fact. Now, so you guys see, Anton Daniels here he's spitting very statistical facts. As a person who's from Ohio and lives in California and has lived in Chicago and all these other places, I've only ever felt nervous from black people. I have never been attacked by a white person. Most black people have never been attacked by white people. I'm not saying that white people are saints. I'm just simply saying that black people are far more prone to criminality than white people. It's just a statistical fact. And he's laying this out, and you're going to see that this guy, he doesn't like any of that. This guy is a white pillar. I've talked about like the brown pillars. This guy's a white pillar. He just simply hates white people. And you're going to see that.
That's a fact.
Do you understand that it's made like that on purpose?
It's the system. The system against us. I got it.
Okay, but
how does the alleged system make black people attack black people? Because he said it's made like that on purpose. So what is making black people kill other black people? What is making black people rob other black people? It makes no sense. This is the mystical they, them, the man argument.
the position you and your people are in.
Who was my people?
Black people. Do you claim black people?
I'm a Christian first. I claim.
Well, I think something's wrong with that. If you don't want to say you're a black man first, I think something's wrong with
black is a construct. They told you that you was black.
Okay, well,
that's
brown.
why you start
Brown
believing.
then.
No.
Maybe
We
I'm
not brown. We not black. We not none of that shit.
Oh, well, what are we?
We not. For me, I'm a believer in God. That's what I am. My foundation is always going to be Christianity, Christ, Jesus first. I don't claim none of that other shit. You're not gonna get me to believe in you based off of some shit that you can't control. You didn't pick it. And the thing about other cultures, whether you black, Chinese, Asians don't fuck with each other just because they're Asian. Chinese people.
Okay, I'm gonna give a little bit of pushback here. That's actually not true. For the most part, when you have Asians, because like I said, I live in San Diego. When you have Asians like Koreans and Japanese and Chinese, if they can find other people like them, they are 100% going to congregate around people who are just like them. That's 100% fact, especially if they're from Japan, Korea, China. Like UCSD is right up the street from where I live. If you go to UCSD, you're going to see all the Asians hanging out with each other. All the Koreans are going to hang with the Koreans if they're available. If there are no Koreans, then if there's like one or two Koreans, they'll hang out with the Japanese, right? Or they'll hang out with the Chinese or whomever. Asians run with Asians. Somalis, they run with Somalis. The Arabs run with the Arabs. Most people are very tribal. So I do have to kind of give some pushback on what he's saying. Most people are very, very tribal. But what you're going to notice is that black people and white people are not, they're just not that way. That's not, the American culture has stripped them of that. White people don't necessarily have tribes and they don't have a dedicated language like Asians and Arabs do. Black people certainly don't. So they're more amorphous. They're more, they get in where they fit in for the most part. And with white people being the dominant culture, white people fit in pretty much anywhere.
And Japanese people and Taiwanese people, they're all different. Koreans are different. All white people don't fuck with all white people. So why do I have an obligation to fuck with somebody just because he black? Okay. And then the definition of how you define black is based off of something that a white man gave to you.
Okay.
Now, a little bit more pushback. All those people that he's talking about, the Taiwanese and the Chinese and these and that, these people have far more salient cultures than black people and white people. I'm not saying white people don't have culture. I'm not saying black people don't have culture. But what I'm saying is you can look at Asian cultures and they have their own language, they have their own media, they have their own way of dress, they have their own way of getting down, and that is very salient. It very much means something. So those people will congregate amongst people who are like them. It's in their culture. Now, yes, white people don't necessarily do that because they're the dominant culture. They can fit in wherever they want. Black people don't do that because typically wherever they go, black people really don't go anywhere, and their culture is highly negative anyways. But for the most part, people do stick together.
Well, trust me, brother. You white people, let me tell you something. I know Caucasian people that have looked at me and threw me licks. Well, I am from Chicago.
And I'm from Detroit.
It was Chicago is very segregated. I knew nothing about Caucasian people until I moved to Los Angeles. And a lot of the stories I heard, it turned out to be just that. But back to this Christianity, you have to understand this. You were taught that by the people who kidnapped you. Is that a lie?
Nope.
I do want to put some emphasis on this. When you guys, if you're white, when you see black people who don't believe in God, like they're not Christian or maybe they're Muslim, there's usually only ever one reason why, and it's because they hate white people, right? You'll meet tons of white people or Asians or other people who say, I don't believe in God because I got a master's degree in physics and, I'm just, so scientifically minded. The Bible doesn't make sense, yada, yada, yada. You'll never meet a black person who says that outside of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. For the most part, 99% of black people who say, I don't believe in God, it's always for the same reason. And I'm not saying you have to believe in God. I'm just simply saying what black culture teaches is that God only exists in the black mind because of white slave traders. So what they say is that's the white man's God, right? So that's the white Jesus. So most black people like this, they reject Christ, they reject God because they're racist. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it is. He's going to lay it out a little bit more here, but you very rarely see people reject, you don't see black people reject Allah or Islam, right? A lot of them, they don't like, they either won't be Islamic because they'll just be like, I don't like religion, but they'll never reject Islam because it's the white man's Islam, right? Because they recognize Islam as a Arab or non-white religion. But they don't want it. They don't want religion as a whole when it comes to Islam. So they'll just say, I'm not with no religion. But when it comes to Christianity, I don't want the white man's God. I don't want a God that my slave masters put on me. So mostly when you see black atheists, it's because they're racist.
Okay, so
we was taught everything that you know on this earth, it was taught to you. The racism that you have in your heart, it was taught to you.
You say I'm racist?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I studied you.
Okay, I hate to keep interrupting, but I got to touch on what he said. Everything that you were taught was everything that you know was taught to you by your slave traders, if you will, if you're black. You don't know physics because of this or because of that. You know it because slave traders taught it to you. You were kidnapped from Africa, according to Corey Holcomb. You were brought to America, and if you have a degree in physics or medicine, it's because white people, your slave masters, they figured out all the structures of the medicine and the molecules and all of this. They did all the heavy lifting, and then they taught you, right? So do we reject science? Like when you are sick, do you go to the doctor and say, I don't want the white man's medicine, right? Is that what we do? No, it's not. So you start to see how stupid this racism is. You would not have any scientists without the same slave masters or the descendants of the slave masters who taught science the same way they taught religion.
Wow.
This is why
Where am I racist? I don't know a lot of racism in me. But
Absolutely.
maybe you can show me something I don't know.
We're going to get there.
I wanted
We'll
you
get
guys
there.
to start the show off in your own
No, when brother Anton Daniels was talking to me on the phone, I knew that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things,
Yeah,
but
we
I
talked about
believe
that.
we can have a conversation like men. It's like a lot of stuff he's saying right now I disagree with so much. But
Both of us.
I'm going to try to make a point because I have the hopes. I have the hopes in reaching him in a way. You know what I'm saying? I know that ain't guaranteed. I'm not.
And
blind
I
to
have the hopes that I'm going to get y'all off of the Democratic plantation.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing about the Democratic plantation.
Everything that you speak of, it's a reflection of the same thing that they speak of. So you may not claim it, but you're a reflection.
For those who don't know, white, black, or otherwise, the Democratic plantation is a phrase that we use in the black Republican space. In case you guys didn't know, I am a Republican. It's a phrase that we use in the black Republican space to describe black people who are not in the Republican space. We say they are on the Democratic plantation because they are slaves to the Democratic Party, and they are happy, fat, stupid slaves.
Section of it.
Well, if I reflect something that is this Democratic plantation, I tell you what, I really don't study a Democratic plantation. I try to study being a stand-up human being where when I look in the mirror, I don't see a slick motherfucker.
Right.
That's who I am.
I'm with it.
I don't like slick motherfuckers.
That's the first thing we agreed on.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we got there. But I get labeled all the time. I was talking to a young lady on the phone the other day, and she said, "I know you hate the what's the lady who calls herself a doctor? I'm blanking right now.
Oh my God.
Dr. Bryant." And I'm like, I don't hate nobody. Where do you get hate from? And then I was on the internet. Every once in a while, I look at the pages that use my likeness and image and everything, and I listen to some of the stuff they said, and I was called bitter, and I don't know how to get money. But anyway, coincidentally, today I'm talking to a brother who knows how to work the internet well and get money.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like everything comes in its season for a man like me. I don't say I got all the answers to everything, but I am willing to talk logically to people who I feel like are able to communicate. That's what I'm saying. Because like the stuff you say, and you know, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, that's your personality too. Like,
And it would be boring to hear just one person's take or views on things. This makes it interesting.
Excuse me, ma'am. You need a mic, ma'am. You can ask on the mic. Goddamn.
Anton, just a clarifying question. What about, are you comparing racism with prejudice? Is it, do you think black people can truly be racist, or are we just prejudiced?
no, I think that there's a lot of people that hate white people. Like,
All right. Before this guy answers fully, you heard the young woman say, do you think black people can truly be racist? This is something that is taught throughout the black community, and it's taught high and low. Black people truly believe that they cannot be racist unless they can put action behind that racism. And they totally skip over the fact that they call it racist when a white person says something that they don't like, but then black people are supposed to be able to say things that other people don't like, but then it's not racist. And then they skip over the fact that the internet has become a salient thing. If you accuse somebody of something on the internet, they can get canceled, they can get fired. Negative impacts can come from that. So then they start saying, oh, well, we're not racist. Only white people are racist, as if all white people somehow have power. So it's a stupid mindset, but it is taught start to finish, top to bottom in the black community, unfortunately.
straight up hate white people. And it's very unfortunate because they're not even the ones that's winning over here. We compare ourselves against a group of people that the majority of them is on food stamps and welfare. They would be a disappointment to their ancestors.
Right, but isn't true racism a system that controls access to,
Well, that's the argument, right? The argument is
we can't make sure white people don't get access to certain schools and programs and things like that.
the main.
That's false. We have DEI for a reason. Okay. Like I said, UCSD is right up the street. In case you guys don't know, that's University of California, San Diego. Very good school. A lot of Asians go to that school. They come from far and wide, and they have, they crush it at that school. A lot of Indians go to that school. It's a tech hub. Microsoft and Silicon Valley recruits there regularly. Like they are always on that campus recruiting the best students. That was one of the hot spots for the whole DEI when they were not letting white guys get into college. Like we all know that the Ivy League schools, namely Harvard, they got sued for, I guess preferential treatment against Asians and preferential treatment against whites. UCSD was one of those schools that was brought up on a lawsuit, right? So when it comes to all this DEI stuff, white people, namely white men, are being held out of jobs and opportunities. In fact, when it comes to protected status, almost every person is protected, is considered a protected class of person, except straight white men. So yeah, it's definitely possible for blacks to discriminate against white people.
same way that
You
they
need to be empowered to be racist, to be quite
But
honest.
see, that's
But
what I was
we'll
going to
get
say.
We'll get to that.
That's the argument that black people make, is that you can't be racist if you can't actually have an impact on another group of people. So it's supposedly systemic. It's false.
Really?
I just seen a guy that used to be the president of the United States of America that wanted to become the president of the United States of America for the second time, almost get everything taken away from him. Literally. And he was basically being taken down by black people. Kamala Harris, Letitia James, who was the, in New York, Fani Willis, down in Georgia. All of those are black women, specifically that met with Kamala Harris months before they actually started this campaign during the Biden administration. And it's so funny to me because then I have to...
Now, okay, I'll give just a small amount of pushback for the black people who are watching this. I wouldn't consider that black people going after Trump. I know black people certainly liked it. I know, most, especially black women, they were 100% on board with, all these black women going after Trump. But when it comes to politics, it's not necessarily a black people thing. It's more of a power structure, right? Those black people were getting all of their evidence from NGOs and stuff like that, and people digging in and prying and, blowing stuff out of proportion. It was more of a systemic attempted takedown. But if you want to say it was black people, I won't completely disagree. I'll just say, for me personally, I see that as more systemic, using black chess pieces that you've strategically put in place. But, you can disagree.
Ask myself the question, well, listen, if this is a construct, and if it's all about white people, and all of the energy is going towards a person that black people fucked with before he actually ran for president of the United States of America, but we champion Barack Obama.
Not me.
No. Take yourself out of it. We're talking about the culture. It may not necessarily be you individually, but we as a culture fuck with him.
Fuck with who?
Barack Obama and his wife. No.
See, okay, so he's scratching his chin like, did we not? I want you guys to remember, he said, not me. If you watch any red pill material, women always do that. And the red pillars always call them out. It's not about you being the exception, right? Like, he's trying to use anecdotal evidence to separate himself from the argument that Anton is making. He does that because this man is single mother raised, as most black men are, so they think in a feminine way. When you say not me, or I know somebody, when you start talking and thinking anecdotally, that is a mark of femininity, right? So you're thinking in a feminine way. If you have black fatigue, you got to understand, a lot of the black folks you deal with, they think and act in a very feminine way because they don't have any positive male role models. And the men that they do have in their lives are also feminine.
No, we fuck with him. As a culture, we champion him. We absolutely do. And he didn't give y'all shit except for gay marriage.
I know that. That's why I ain't arguing with you on this
So
point.
absolutely I vote.
Are you independent? What do you?
I'm a Republican.
You didn't know that?
I'm a straight up, up and down Republican. And matter of fact, people need to really understand their history because Republicans were the party of black people. It's the original party of black people. They were the party that actually freed the slaves. Lincoln was a straight up Republican. When you're talking about the emancipation, when you're talking about 1865, when you're talking about what we stood for, as conservative means that we're Christians. It means that we don't fuck with that gay shit. I'm telling you what it stands for.
You don't fuck with the backdoor shit?
I don't.
I don't either.
That's what it stands. What it means to be a Republican is this, because a lot of people like to say,
because it's a backdoor your Republicans.
And we were taught by our parents. We were taught by our parents that we vote Democrat no matter what, right? Regardless of what they stand for, regardless of the agendas that they push, regardless of how much nonsense that we see in our communities, regardless of how many Democrats actually destroyed our cities from Chicago to Detroit, all across the board. We were taught to vote that no matter what. You vote Democrat no matter what.
I agree.
But this is the difference between the parties on a very fundamental level, not complicated at all.
Really? You finna say there's a difference between the parties?
This is the difference.
In case you guys, and I just have to interrupt this for fair use purposes. In case you guys are wondering why Corey Holcomb is arguing against Anton, it's because this guy's uneducated. I don't know if he graduated high school. I know he didn't go to college. Everybody knows that the Republicans used to be the Democrats and the Democrats used to be the Republicans. Like, everybody knows that the parties switched identities sometime back a couple hundred years ago, or about 150 years ago, something like that. But he doesn't know that. So when he's telling him, oh, we're actually the good guys, the Republicans are actually the good guys, he can't conceptualize it because this guy, he's one of those anti-college, anti-education people, right? It's good, white man's education bad. So you get a better sense of what this person really is.
Wait to hear this.
No. You may say that it's the same type of public politicians that take advantage of the taxpayers and take advantage of the people. The difference in the parties historically is Republicans want less government so you can do what the fuck you want to do. And Democrats want more control, so they want to control what your money is, where your tax dollars go, and what you can do with your money.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this.
That's the fundamental difference.
I'm going to tell you this. And you don't have to believe me, but I'm just telling you.
I'm listening.
The people in charge are not Democrats or Republicans.
I understand that.
Kamala Harris is allowed to do whatever she's done.
We get that.
This new president, he's allowed to do whatever he is willing to do or they allow him to do.
Facts.
Everything is allowed. There are people in charge of this nation that flat out run shit. And if ain't nobody got the power to uproot them, then we're going to keep having people paying a whole bunch of money for houses and a fire hydrant don't work in front of it, but they'll charge you for the fire hydrant in front of your house.
But we got a less than 20% voter turnout rate in the local elections.
Well, you understand voting don't work, right?
It does work.
How?
Okay. Now, I've talked about this many times on this channel. Women outvote men 60-40, and they get exactly what they want. Look at what's going on in New York. They got a Muslim, Democrat, socialist mayor, like in that order. He is all those things. He's like a Muslim, socialist, Democrat side, whatever. The guy, he's a soup sandwich, but who voted for him? Women voted for him. Voting works if you actually turn out to vote. But people like this, and there's a lot of black people who think this way, and this is why the black community is so torn up. It's so messed up because black men think like this. They, voting don't work, so I'm not going to vote. Meanwhile, black women go out and vote, but they only vote one way. They're a uniparty. They only vote Democrat. Then you go out there and you have the white women. How many white women are voting one way, right? So voting clearly works. It's just stupid people like this don't want to vote.
It does, but you just missed it.
I heard everything you said. I can't wait till you tell me how voting makes a difference in this country.
We have a less than 20% voter turnout rate in local.
Ain't nobody going for the sucker shit no more. We got to go.
You're missing it.
You got to uproot the people in power before a real difference happens. Voting is for suckers.
It's not. People that don't vote are ignorant as fuck.
Well, I guess I'm ignorant because I would never participate in no
people
sucker
that
shit.
don't vote.
I'm gonna show up and vote like a sucker.
And not only is it ignorant.
We had Republican presidents, we had Democratic presidents. We in the same joint.
I'm talking about locally. You talking about national.
I don't give a fuck if it's
matters.
local.
It matters.
If you vote,
absolutely
that means you in line.
No, if you vote.
Okay, so you guys can see how stupid this guy is. Anton is talking about voting locally and saying that we have a less than 20% voter turnout. Most people don't vote in their local elections. They don't vote for the city council. They don't vote for the judges. They don't vote for the aldermen. They don't vote for the representatives. They don't vote for the district representatives. They don't vote. They might vote for the mayor. If you wonder why Muslims are taking over everywhere, it's because they're civically active. They are civically active and they outvote you, and only 20% of the native population, that's typically going to be your blacks, your whites, and your Hispanics, only 20% turn out. So if 20% of the native population turns out locally and 100% of the eligible Muslim community turns up to vote locally, who do you think is going to win? Your Muslims are going to win. If it's the Asians who want something, they're going to vote in a block and they're going to win. So this is what he's talking about. Voting works. It works 100%. But when stupid people like this vote the wrong way or they don't vote at all, this is why you get people paying exorbitant amounts of money for a house, and then they have to pay for a fire hydrant that doesn't work out in front of the house. His example, not mine.
The first thing that it means is that you respect your ancestors that died for your right to be able to do it.
Your ancestors
it's so funny to
didn't do it like this. Because people went to war when the government tried to overthrow the people and the power of the people. It was wars. There hasn't been a war inside the U.S. where the people who getting fucked over are doing something about motherfuckers with 30 felonies being the president. It's all sucker shit going on.
It's a war every day. It's just not physical anymore.
Well, that's the problem.
It's
we
here.
need physical wars.
No, it's not.
Until motherfuckers ready to jump it off.
It's not.
Okay, so this guy he's one of these, black extremist types. We need a physical war. Are you going to go fight the physical war, sir? No, you're not. So you want other people to go fight a war for all the years, because this guy's in his 50s. I think Corey Holcomb is 53, 52, something like that. So you're in your 50s. You had ample time to vote state elections, federal elections, local elections. You never voted. So now your community, your world is messed up. You spent your whole life cracking jokes on the stage and saying the voting is for suckers. So now that the world is all messed up because, partially you went out there and indoctrinated people not to vote and to think that voting is for suckers. Now you want people's kids to go fight a war, huh? Is that what I'm getting from this? You guys see how stupid this is. When we talk about black fatigue, this is where it comes from.
You're gonna always be talking. But see, real gladiators don't talk. Real gladiators make it happen. And the gladiators, I ain't gonna lie, we are under control right now.
The gladiators were slaves, in case you guys didn't know, but okay.
We haven't rose up and did what needs to be done.
Who are you under control by?
It ain't. You under control by the people who will motherfucking blow this motherfucker up. We ain't stupid.
Who is he? Because I want to know who.
Why do you think that ICE agent was able to shoot that woman?
I want to know who the. Hold on. Let's be real. Fuck that woman.
Well, that's what you would say.
Facts.
To somebody you don't know or whatever.
No.
I'm on the streets. I've been pulled over by the police.
Who ain't on the streets?
Or the ICE agents or whatever.
You in LA. I'm in Detroit. I'm in the blackest city in the United States of America. I can move anywhere I want to go. I choose to stay in the core of my city, and I choose to participate in my neighborhood. I choose to tithe to the streets. I choose to put kids through college. I choose to interact and truly use my tax dollars and whatever it is and give jobs. I employ over 50 people. I put my money in my community with my people. So I choose to engage. So when we talking about being in the streets, that don't count to me. I don't hear
that's
that
what
shit.
should count.
I don't hear that
because
shit.
out there in the streets where the people live that you helping, they could get pulled over and shot by a cop, and an investigation will be said. But here's the truth: we know, I believe you know this already.
Before this guy makes whatever point he's going to make, I just want to backtrack on all of this. Anton said that he chooses to live in Detroit and he has a job. Anton's a very successful podcaster, streamer, and social media personality. He says, I choose to be in Detroit. I choose to employ over 50 people. That doesn't sound like a lot, but how many people do you have employed? He says he chooses to put his money back into the community and help the people who are trying to help themselves. And then this guy's like, well, you should be worried about the streets. People like this always want handouts. They want this pie in the sky. They don't want to work for anything. They don't want to go out there and have to work and have to apply themselves and subject themselves to a merit-based system where you eat what you kill. They don't want that. So this guy is saying you need to be concerned with the streets, because in the streets, the cops can shoot you. Bro, that woman who got shot in Minnesota got shot because she tried to run over a cop. What are we talking about right now? When we start talking about black fatigue, you guys got to really understand, it's not all black people. But the black people that it is have very prominent positions and voices. They are boosted to the moon and back. And there's too many guys like this and not enough guys like Anton.
The cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
Do you think that's wrong? What I said?
This is so insane.
Is that what I said? I said when the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it. Is that a lie?
This is so insane.
But you didn't answer it.
I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay.
I'm gonna answer your question. It depends on the circumstance. And the interesting thing about it is this: the majority of the people, because you like to use a blanket statement. That's like me saying all black people are stupid.
Well, have you said all white people stupid?
No, I'm talking about cops.
You should say that one time.
I'm talking about
because
cops.
it's easy to say all black people are stupid.
Okay. Do you guys see what I'm talking about here? Anton used a very, very innocuous statement. He's making an example. He says, it's easy to use a blanket statement. That's like me saying all black people are stupid. This guy starts chimping out and saying, well, you need to say that about white people. This is what I'm talking about, these people who are white-pilled, and they are so anti-white. This man is using and this is what women do. You guys have, if you've seen any kind of Fresh and Fit, any kind of red pill material, you've seen women get mad. when men use an example about women. If you swap this whole conversation, right now we're talking black and white. If you swap a black and white conversation for a male versus female conversation, and Anton Daniels say, did I say all women are stupid? And then the woman would be like Corey, and the woman would be saying, why don't you say all men are stupid? Why can't men be the part of that example? He's flipping out for no reason. He's getting lost on the example. Women typically get lost on the example. This man is a very effeminate thinker. And if you ever wonder why black men are so dangerous, this is why. Because a lot of them have effeminate emotions. They are effeminate thinkers, but they're in the body of men. The majority of black men are literally just black women with loads of testosterone and muscle. That's why they're so dangerous.
As an example, say something about the white people.
No. You're not.
I don't think you got
all the time.
Well, I didn't hear you. Can you tell me?
I
Because I
talk
don't
about
know.
liberal
I hear
white
you
women
talking about
literally being the biggest enemy of the United States of America. That's the thing I say every single day.
Caucasian female, the biggest enemy.
Literally, white liberal women are the worst thing that ever happened to this country.
What about their men?
But
even white men are against liberal white women, but he just wants it to be a war against white men. And this is why I brought up the whole thing about DEI. This is DEI mindset. He wants everybody to hate white men. He doesn't care about white women because he knows that they don't have any real power, other than the fact that he said voting is for suckers and liberal white women outvote everybody. They outvote every single group. He's trying to tell him liberal white women are the enemy to all of America. Liberal white women are the problem. They're the biggest problem for every group of people. But he doesn't want to focus on that. He just wants to hate white men.
we gonna get there because you keep trying to get me to qualify it by participating and joining in on the core.
No, I think you're doing what's easy.
No. I'm doing what's real.
I think you don't want to go against them because if you go against them, it'll be some video of you going against them. And when I say them, I'm talking about your boss.
I don't have a boss.
We say that. We say that, but here's the truth.
I don't have a boss.
It's a reason you go after black males or black people quicker than you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall
I'm an
of
equal
it?
accountability smoke giver. I talk about.
So he wants him to go against white people, white men in particular, and say, you need to go against the white men and say what they've done to wreck the country. He just told it. He just told you. If there's any one thing, is the fact that white men gave white women the ability to vote, and now we're all living in hell. But you can't make that kind of argument with this person. But once again, this is the face of black fatigue, because even if you're white and you're watching this, you can see we can't reason with our own people who are like this. You just can't do it.
Everybody.
I'm just saying, I ain't heard you talk about white men since you've been up here.
You ain't been listening. You ain't been listening.
I've been listening to you.
No, you haven't.
I hear you
don't
taking
have, you don't have the capacity to be able to listen because you're too busy.
No. You got me wrong.
You're too busy.
My
Because if
capacity,
that's the-
my
because if that's the
capacity
case-
that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they
Absolutely.
destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you're talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking
No, you're
loud,
talking loud.
and you still talking around. What
you're
did
trying
the
to do-
Caucasian male
what
do
you
to
trying to-
America?
I'm not.
What Corey wants is for Anton to say something directly. Oh, white men did this, right? What Anton is doing is he's setting the stage, he's laying the bricks to make any potential point in this direction or that. But this guy, he's too stupid to hear that. It's just like arguing with a woman. If you're going to make a main point, you have to lay all the bricks that lead to that. And you need the woman to shut up and be sensible long enough for you to say, okay, this, right? It's just like doing a math problem. You got to lay out all the factors that lead you to the answer. But if you have a person who's female-minded and highly aggressive, you'll never get there. So he just wants you to say, oh, white people did this. It's just because he hates white people.
Bring it down.
I'm not getting into
White men in particular.
that.
You
I'm not
dancing
getting into
around it.
No,
And
I'm
that's
not.
why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm going to cut the interview here because Corey Holcomb just said, I'm not an ass kisser of anybody. What Anton is going to respond with is, you are a phallus licker, if you know what I mean. And that's going to send the whole rest of the interview off the deep end. And this is actually, it's age restricted, I do believe, because they go into a whole conversation about homosexuality and the word phallus enjoyer, oral phallus enjoyer is said about 36 times, right? So the conversation at this point, it just goes off a cliff. It just dives into the realm of ignorance and bravado. They start threatening to fight each other. Let's step outside. I'll beat you up. Raw. They start chimping out, both of them respectively. But you guys can get the gist of what this is. I believe any responsible, sane-minded person would be on the side of Anton Daniels, the Christian, the conservative, the person who says, you know, I'm all about personal accountability. Let's go vote. Let's be civically active. But you can see what he or we, any of us black Republicans, have to deal with. This is the face of black fatigue. We had it before white folks. We had it way before white folks because we've always been trying to fix our community. But for every one Anton Daniels, I swear to God, there's 10 Corey Holcombs. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll get it back at you on the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.